Hi guys, how you doing? So welcome back to another video. So this is actually one I've been trying to do for a little while. So this is every single Pokemon that needs a special evolution in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So it's just the Sword and Shield base game. It's not any Pokemon that's included in the downloadable extra. So it's just the original 400 that's in the games. It's any Pokemon that needs any assistance in leveling up except evolving, except for leveling up. So the first ones we're going to do are every single Pokemon that evolves from stones. So if you are looking for a specific Pokemon that you want to know how it evolves, go in the description. We're going to timestamp the whole thing, so each section and each individual Pokemon will have its own timestamp. So if you want to go down there and find the Pokemon you're looking for, just click on that timestamp and head across to the part of the video that you're looking for. Anyways, without further ado, we'll start with the Pokemon that need stones to evolve.
Alright, so this is the first one here, so your Firestone. So you got 3 Pokemon that can evolve from Firestone from the original 400 Galar Pokedex. You got Eevee that evolves into Flareon, Growlithe that will evolve into Arcanine, and Vulpix which will evolve into Ninetails. So here we're just going to evolve one of them for the example. So we've got Growlithe evolving into Arcanine. So when you're doing this, you get stones from various different places. You would just dotting about in the wild area, or the best place to get them, which I think is actually the digging duo. Just give them some watts and then every now and then they will dig up some stones for you. So the second one is the Thunderstone. So your Eevee again, this time it'll evolve into Jolteon, Pikachu evolves into Raichu, and we've got Charajabug which will evolve into Vikavolt. So we're just going to evolve this Charajabug. So this one's a foreign one that I got from one of my trades. I'm just using it in this video as an example, so that's why the name is slightly different. I'm not sure what language it is though. So there you go, so you got Vikavolt. So when you evolve Pokemon via stones like this as well, sometimes they do learn new attacks that are only available in that last stage, which will always come up at the end regardless of the level of the Pokemon. So next one is the Water Stone. So again, Eevee, this time it'll evolve into Vaporeon, Lombre which will evolve in a minute, and Shelder which will evolve in the Cloyster. So it's Lodicolo, I can't remember the pronunciation of it, but this will be in a second. Yes. So the next one we have is the Leaf Stone. So this time Nuzleaf will evolve into Shiftry, Gloom will evolve into Vileplume, and Eevee will evolve into Leafeon. There you go, so you got Shiftry evolved from Nuzleaf. This next one you have is the Ice Stone. So it's the only one, it's the first one that will feature as a Galarian Pokemon. So the Galarian Darumaka will evolve via Ice Stone, and so will Eevee which will evolve into Glaceon. There you go, this one's actually my shiny one that I've evolved. So Darumaka and Darmanitan. And this is obviously level 1, so you know that it learns that every time it evolves. Next one we have a shiny stone, so you got Minccino, Rosalia, and Togetic. So Minccino will evolve into Sinistino, Rosalia will evolve into Roserade, and Togetic will evolve into Togekiss. So I apologise for some of these pronunciations of Pokemon, I'm not 100% on all of them. The next one you have is the Sunstone. So you've got Gloom again, you've got Cottonee, you've got Helicopter. So Gloom will evolve into Blossom, Cottonee will evolve into Whimsicott, and Helicopter will evolve into Helolisk. I'm saying, is it Helolisk? I think it's Helolisk, yeah, that's how it is. I think that's how it's pronounced. The next one you've got is the Moonstones. Just 2 this time. So you've got Muna which will evolve into Mushana, and you've got Clefairy which will evolve into Clefable. Now there's only got a few more, a couple more stones left. So you've got Dusk Stone next, which has got 2 again, which is Phantump, which will evolve into Chandler. And you've got Double Aid, which will evolve into Aegislash. You just got one left, so you've got the Dawn Stone left. This one's a little bit different because you got to have the right gender. So you've got Snorunt and Krillaya. So Snorunt has to be female and it'll evolve into Frostlass. Krillaya has to be male, which will evolve into Gallade. So if they're not the right gender, then they won't actually evolve via Dawnstone and won't actually let you do it. They have to be female Snorunt and male Krillaya because they do have male evolutions. So one will evolve as one and one will evolve as the other depending on the gender, so make sure you've got the right gender. If you don't, then it won't evolve into these. You have to go back and change the gender, just hatch some eggs until you get the right one. Alright, so all these next ones here are actually Pokemon that you evolve via trades. So some of these will need a held item, some of these will need to be traded with a specific Pokemon. So others will just need to be traded. So we're going to go with the first one. It is Dusclops into Dusknoir. So when you trade this, you need to have the Dusclops holding a Reaper Cloth, and when it is received via the trade, it will evolve into Dusknoir. Next one is Machoke to Machamp. It doesn't need a held item, just trade it and it will evolve. Same again, Haunter will evolve when it is traded into Gengar, no held item needed. Feebas needs to be traded, but it also needs to have a Prism skill and it will evolve into Milotic. Next one, Boldore will evolve into Gigalith when traded. Gurdurr will evolve into Gurdurr when traded. Onix will evolve into Steelix while it's holding a metal coat when traded. Pumpkaboo will evolve into Gourgeist when traded. Next one is Slurpuff, so Swirlix you have to trade while it's holding a Whipped Dream. Spritzee you need to trade while it's holding a Sachet. Rhyperior, if you trade a Rhydon holding a Protector, it will evolve into Rhyperior. Now your next two, so you've got Karrablast and you've got Shelmet, so you need to trade these with each other. So if you trade a Shelmet with something else, it won't evolve, but if you trade a Shelmet for a Karrablast, the Karrablast will evolve into a Scalava and the Shelmet will evolve into a Selgor. And your last one, if you trade a Phantump, it will evolve into Trevenant. Alright, so these next ones that we've got, these are all Pokemon that will need to be evolved when they know a certain move. So these are them here, so these are the 6. So when Milliswine knows Ancient Power, level it up and it will evolve. If it doesn't know Ancient Power, it won't evolve. Same again, Steenie needs to know Stomp and it will evolve. Eevee needs to know a Fairy type move and it will evolve into Sleeveon. Doesn't matter which one it is. Mimic needs to be learned by Bonsly and evolve into Sudowoodo. Clobbopus needs to know Taunt, and Mime Jr needs to know Mimic as well. If you don't know, if these Pokemon you've got don't know these moves yet and you've leveled them up and you think you might have forgotten them or you've caught them at a higher level and the move has been deleted, just go to the move tutor and they will be able to relearn the move for you. So here we go, so I'm just going to use these experience shares just to show you that these will evolve now that they've got these moves. So you go, it starts off Mamoswine. Steenie will evolve as well because it knows Stomp. Now Eevee won't actually evolve even though it knows Baby Doll Eyes. The reason for that is because it needs to be friendly as well as knowing the move. So I will explain that in a second. But for now, we're going to add these last experience candies on these last couple of Pokemon and they will evolve. Alright, so in order to get friendly with your Pokemon, basically what you need to do is you need to go to the camp like it is here, and you need to play with it with toys and give it curries and things like that. That's the easiest way that I think you can do it. There is other ways you can do it. You can battle with it, you can just generally talk to it, but generally using this little like toys here, in general variety of toys, by changing it and doing different toys, different balls, you will be able to increase its friendliness level. So the Pokemon that need to be friendly in order to evolve are as follows. So if you got a Budew and you want to evolve in a Rosalia, it will need to be during the day on the game as well, but it also need to have a high friendly level. If you want to evolve a Woobat into a Swoobat, you need to have a high friendship level to evolve. Pichu into Pikachu, again high friendship level or it won't evolve. And then you've got the Eevees. So if you want an Espeon, you need to have it during the day on the game, and you also have a high friendship level, then level it up. And once its friendship level is high enough and the game is in during the day and it doesn't know any fairy type moves, it'll evolve into Espeon. Again with Umbreon it's exactly the same, high friendship level, but this time at night. Again, make sure there's no fairy type moves, because if you have a fairy type move on Eevee and it has a high friendship level, it will evolve into Sleeveon. So if you're hunting Espeon or Umbreon, make sure you delete them fairy type moves. Next one is Clefairy into Clefairy. It will evolve when it's got high friendship level. Togepi, which you can see, which I'm doing here, will evolve into Togetic. Munchlax will evolve into Snorlax with a high friendship level, and you will get a Lucario when you evolve. When you get Riolu, again it needs to be during the day, it won't evolve at night. The next one, high friendship level with Snom, will evolve into Frostmoth. This time it needs to be at night. And then your last one, it's a Type Null, will evolve into Silvally when it has a high friendship level. One of the other things you can do as well, which you can see here, is that you can give the Pokemon you're trying to have a high friendship level the Soothe Bell. So if you're watching there, you can go in and get the Soothe Bell, give it to the Pokemon you're trying to have a high friendship level, and then when you're doing all these playing with it at the camp, everything, it will evolve faster when it has the Soothe Bell as its held item. Right, so this next one, these are all Pokemon that evolve in very unique ways. So each one has its own evolution method. So this first one is Nincada, so it will evolve when it hits level 20. But if you want to get a Shed Ninja, make sure that you have a space in your party, so you got 5 Pokemon or less, and then when it evolves into Ninjask, you will get Shed Ninja in your party as well. That will hold up in the last space or one of the spare spaces that you've got in your party. If you don't have any space in your party when you evolve it, you'll not get Shed Ninja, so make sure there is a space, and it will always have the same level as what you've evolved your Ninjask at. So there you go, Shed Ninja, same level 21. So these next ones are Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and Hitmontop. So if you want to evolve a Tyrogue into a specific evolution of a Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Hitmontop, there is actually a way. So if you look here on the attack and defense, if it has a higher attack than its defense, it will evolve into a Hitmonlee. If it has a higher defense than its attack, it will be Hitmonchan, and if the attack and the defense are equal, it will be Hitmontop. So we're going to just evolve these ones. So the first one will be Hitmonchan because its defense was higher. The second one will be Hitmonlee, and then the third one, if I don't change any of its stats, again will be Hitmonchan. Alright, so what you gotta do is if you want to change its stats, basically all you gotta do is just change its nature. So it's quite easy if you want Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, you just make sure the attack is higher or the defense is higher. But for Tyrogue, what you're gonna do is, I think it's easier to level it up a little bit first. You don't want to probably level it up as many levels as what I just did, but a couple levels will do. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the battle tower and you're going to buy a serious mint which will change its nature to neutral, so nothing will be higher, nothing will be lower. You only need to do this if the nature of the Pokemon is affecting its attack and defense. So if it's red and blue, or if one of them's red, one of them's blue, like this one, you need to do this. If neither of them are coloured in, then you don't need to do this, but since it has done this on mine, just go and get the serious mint of 50 battle points if you haven't already got one, and then give it to Tyrogue just to level out all of its stats. Then once you've done this, its attack and defense should be equal, and then just go in a battle and then just level it up one level, and then because its attack and defense is equal, it will evolve. But make sure it is level 20 or above, otherwise it won't evolve. So here we go. So this is just Hitmonchan's stats leveling up, and then next one we'll have Tyrogue. There you go, so 26, 26, both got +1, so it will be even, so this time it will be evolving in Hitmontop. There you go, Hitmontop, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Next one you've got, it is Pancham into Pangoro. It's basically all you got to do with this one is just make sure you've got another, like a second, sorry, like a Pokemon that's also a Dark type in your party. If you don't have a Pokemon that is a Dark type in your party, it won't evolve. So basically, all you gotta do is just find the Pokemon you've already caught, a Dark type Pokemon, and then put it in your party. And then once you level Pancham up past level 32, it will evolve. But it won't evolve unless you've got a Dark type Pokemon in your party with it. So there you go. The next one you've got is Milcery into Alcremie. So what you gotta do is get a Star Sweet, give it a Star Sweet, and then you've got to basically spin on the spot, either in the right directional or left directional. So this is where you gotta kind of choose, like, if you know which type you want. Just depending on the weather and depending on which direction that you spin, it will change Alcremie's form at the end. So this one is snow and spinning clockwise, so this one will be like a yellow and white form. If you've done it the opposite way, it'll be a different one. If you did it in a different weather, it will have different moves depending on which weather, which direction that you spin it in, and which time of day. And the next one you've got the apple in. So if you're on Pokemon Soul, which I'm on now, you will have a tart apple, and it will evolve into Flapple. If you're on Pokemon Shield, you will have the sweet apple, and it will evolve into Apple Turn. So you gotta depending on which game you're in, you're only going to be able to evolve it into one or the other. So don't waste your time trying to find a sweet apple on Sword or a tart apple on Shield, because you'll not find one. They're only available in one game or the other. So if you want both, you're going to have to find someone to trade one with that's already evolved it on their game, or if you have both copies of the game like me, you're going to have to evolve it on one version and then swap to the other version to evolve it into its other form. Next one we have is Weavile. So what you're going to do is just come here and you're going to get the Razor Claw. So if you haven't got a Razor Claw in your items box, you're going to come here, part of the wild area, and you're going to pick up the Razor Claw. And then all you got to do is make sure it's at night, and then you just got to level up Sneasel. So if it's not at night, which it isn't here for me, then what you're going to do is you can change the time on your Switch, which will then change the settings so that the game changes from day to night. So you don't have to actually wait until it's night time where you live. If you want to level it up straight away, just go to settings, scroll down, and then just change it to a time of day which will make the game into night mode, so either really early hours or late at night, and it'll change it on the game, and you can always change it back afterwards as well. There you go, so it's leveled up. It has the Razor Claw and it will evolve into Weavile. So Weavile has a different form. It'll still be Weavile at the end of the day, but if it's male or female, it looks slightly different. Alright, so the next one you got is Sinistee. So again, it's a little bit different, this one. So if you've got a Sinistee, you can use either the Chip Pot or the Crack Pot on it to evolve it into Poltergeist. Which item triggers evolution will depend on whether you have the phony form Sinistee or an antique form Sinistee. Check the bottom of Sinistee's teacup to see if you know which one it is. So basically, if there is a little blue circle on the bottom of it, it's the antique form. If it doesn't have one, it's the other form. But depending on which one you've got, just use the Crack Pot or Chip Pot and it will evolve into Poltergeist. They all look the same. It's kind of one of them just little like secrets that you can put in the game when that don't really make much difference. The next one is Mantike. So Mantike is basically the previous evolution of Mantine. Got to make sure you have a Remoraid in your party though. So if you don't have a Remoraid in your party, Mantike will not evolve. So you might have seen Mantine featured with Remoraid quite a lot. It won't evolve without having one in your party. So it can't evolve on its own. It has to have a Remoraid in the party. If there is no Remoraid in the party, it will just keep leveling up and leveling up and leveling up, and it will never evolve. Right, so this next one you got to make sure it is raining. If it's not raining, then it won't evolve. So this one is Sliggoo into Gurdurr. So basically, you got to get Goomy, evolve it into Sliggoo, and then get to a place where it's raining. So I guess it should show you there. Is check on the map, see if it's either thunderstorm or raining, and then level it up to level 50. And once it's leveled up level 50 and it's raining, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, just make sure it is raining. It will then evolve into Gurdurr, and Gurdurr is a really good Pokemon. It's one that I've been meaning to build up for a while. This one won't be good enough to play online though, it's only just a random one I found in the box. Gurdurr is a dragon type Pokemon. I think it's a very unique looking Pokemon. This next one is Malamar, so Inky evolving into Malamar. So I can't actually show you how to do it properly. So what you got to do is you've got to level your Inky up to level 30, and then as it's leveling up, you have to turn your switch upside down. So you got to make sure that if you're using a switch like this one, like what I've got, you got to take it out of the stand and you got to put the controllers on both sides of it. If you don't do this, it won't work. So make sure it's on like a handheld form, and then as you're evolving it to level 30, turn the switch upside down, and then when it's leveling up, it will then trigger the evolution. Once the evolution is triggered, you can turn your switch back up the right way and it will evolve that way. But the only way of doing it is level 30 and having your switch upside down and in the handheld form. So obviously if it's on the switch light, that's fine because it's always handheld form. And you got this next one is Yamask. So Yamask is quite a unique evolution as well, because what you've got to do is you've got to get your Yamask and you've got to endure hits. So you've got to make sure it takes a hit but doesn't get knocked out. So as much damage as possibly you can. So the higher its level, the easier it's going to be to evolve. So take enough hits, you can do it over many battles. So if you've got a Yamask from the start and you're playing the game, it will just evolve on its own. But what you've also got to do is once it's been taking enough damage, you've got to pass underneath the stone boulders in the wild area. And then once you've passed under there, that will trigger the evolution. So get it in battle, take damage, but don't get knocked out. Just keep taking damage, do many battles, or take a lot of damage in one battle, and then come here and go underneath the stone boulders in the stony wilderness part of the wild area. And then once you pass underneath the boulders, it will trigger the evolution, which will evolve a new Runingris. Right now, so this last one that you've got, it is Farfetch'd. So what it is, you've got to get one of your Galarian Farfetch'd, and you've got to do 3 critical hits in one battle. So it's quite easy to do it early on in the game. Later on in the game it's a little bit harder. I wasn't able to actually get an example of it because I don't have a high enough level. Basically, level your Farfetch'd up quite high. Find a battle. If you're later on in the game, you're probably going to go to the battle tower, or do the battle challenge again, and basically take in held items that increase its critical hit ratio, or if you've got something like moves that will increase your critical hit ratio, like if you've got moves like Focus Energy that will increase it, but make sure when you do it it's not knocked out, because it has to hit 3 critical hits in one battle. So get some Focus Energy, increase it up, and then use moves like Fury Cutter or anything like that might have a higher critical hit ratio. Just look under some TMs and then find some higher ones. But basically just 3 critical hits in one battle, and then once it's done that, you need to survive the battle. If it's knocked out, it might not count, and then it will evolve at the end of the battle. Alright, so these last ones is basically, these are just Pokemon that you can only evolve via hatching, and some of them need incenses and some of them don't. So if you come here, this is where you buy all the incenses. So the ones that you need to hatch from is basically, if you want to get a Budew, put a Ditto in the nursery with a Rosalia or a Roserade. Make sure the Rosalia or Roserade has a Rose Incense, and then it will hatch a Budew. Again, if you want a Wynaut, put an egg in the, put a Ditto in the nursery with a Wobbuffet with a Lax Incense. If you want a Bonsly, Sudowoodo with Ditto of a Rock Incense. If you want a Munchlax, you need to have Snorlax and Ditto with a full incense. Mantike, you need to have a Wave Incense with a Mantine. Mime Jr, you need an odd incense with a Mr. Mime or Mr. Rhyme. And your last one, you don't need an incense, but the only way of getting Dino, which is the original form of Hydreigon, is by putting a Zwellios or Hydreigon in the nursery with a Ditto. And that is every single Pokemon that you need to get via evolution.
Alright, so that's every single Pokemon that needs a special evolution to evolve. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you found it interesting as well, especially some of these Pokemon at the end. It was really surprising how they actually had to evolve. I had to research a lot of these evolutions. I have a little book, a walkthrough book that helps me as well. But anyways, guys, I hope you found it helpful. I hope you consider subscribing and hit that like button. If you do have any comments, if you want to know how to get any of the items that you might need, held items to evolve the Pokemon, or any of the stones and how to get the stones, ask me below and I'll remember to comment back to every comment if I can and help you out as much as possible. But that's it for today, guys, and I will see you in the next video.